Hello there everybody, this is Krista and welcome back to Crochet Witch Tarot, and today I wanted to do another sporadic video in this somewhat of a series I have of tarot and ADHD. And this is very much inspired by a video I just finished watching from Marlene Teresa that she entitles, I've got it still pulled up right here, "It's Okay, Don't Force It." And throughout this video she is talking about the practices that she has tried that didn't end up working out for her. And I just thought this was such a cool conversation to start, and at least personally I have not really seen talked about a ton of something that you've really tried out or really were excited to bring in, and then it just didn't end up working out. And so what this got me thinking about is how that just lately, I guess the background knowledge to have, I suppose, on this, if you're not in this ADHD realm, or if you are but don't or choose not to take medication, is that there's been a huge ADHD medication shortage. I know, at least in the US. I don't know if it's everywhere. I have no idea. And so that is, I personally choose to take medication to help with my ADHD. It helps tons. Like, it really helps me get through my days in such a better way. Really helps me out a lot. And so with this shortage, though, it has been very hard to get the things that I need. And so anyway, this video really got me thinking about how within these first 2 months of the year, I went from a place of, at the new year, being so excited. I mean, any kind of fresh start energy, I am all here for. I mean, my brain is constantly seeking newness and, I mean, really fresh starts. And so I went from this place in the beginning of January where I was really excited about all these different things, had all these different practices and studies I was bringing in, and to now where a lot of things just feel like too much, and sort of navigating this space of really allowing myself and getting myself to feel like that's okay. And so I suppose that's just what I wanted to talk about today, because I just think, again, it's a really interesting conversation to have, and it just, Marlene's video really inspired me to keep thinking on that for myself, which is really important, because I think as someone with ADHD, follow through is really difficult for me. And sticking to things is really difficult for me. And I can very easily get into this space of heavily shaming myself for that. And because I feel flaky. I feel like I can't stick to something even if I want to. And I mean, that goes for my tarot practices, my spiritual practices, but it's just like a life thing for me, really. And so there was a bit of time, for sure, between, again, January and now, where I was just feeling really sad about that, where I had, again, I mean, in retrospect, I wanted to do too much, which I know I have a tendency to do, and so I don't get too disappointed when some things end up not happening, because I know I get really excited about all these things, and certain things are just gonna have to naturally weed themselves out, basically. But I mean, in January I had my year ahead spread, I picked an animal of the month for myself, I am doing the Year in the Wildwood again, which I really loved last year. I made plans to do the Arthurian Hollow quest, which I still might do. Time will tell on that. I've got a fairy and a grandmother of the month, like, it's just it's a lot of different things that I'm working with. You know, and on top of that, I have My daily readings I absolutely love to do. I'm in Dawn Michelle's Weavers group, so there's a monthly medicine with that. Anyway, a lot going on. And in the beginning of January, it was all a lot of fun, and it was really something I was keeping up with because it was all exciting, you know? But then, again, as things start to lose the newness sparkle for me, some things will stick and some things won't. But on top of that, I had a period of time where I couldn't get the medication I needed to help me focus, really. And so what I've really just been thinking about is, okay, instead of really beating myself up over this and, again, shaming myself and, I mean, really calling myself names, you know, like saying that I'm flaky is name calling, because I'm not flaky. I'm not flaky where it's really important, you know? And so, again, it's been an interesting thing to think about, and I circled around on my own thought there. Oh, so what I've been thinking about, okay, here we go, is what are the real base roots, the solid foundations of my tarot and spiritual practice that I can return to just those when I'm finding it really hard to focus. Because that's really the big thing that sort of makes certain practices, or makes me kind of fall off of certain practices, is an inability to just sit still and focus. That's really what it is. And so during that bit of time where, like, we were riding on no help, and it was lucky if I sat in a chair for 2 minutes kind of thing, I really had to pare down to the things that were really simple, but also really important and impactful for me. I feel like I'm circling around a lot in my thoughts. I kind of thought this through before I pressed record. Not really. Where did I want to go with this? I just thought Marlene's video was so cool. I just thought it was such a good idea. I've just been kind of thinking about, you know, tarot when you just can't focus, when you just can't sit still. Oh, okay, so this is going a bit in a different direction than Marlene's, because in reality I am now kind of talking about the things that do work, but it's just inspired by, you know, it's okay. And so for me, paring down to things that are heavily guided is what was so extremely helpful for me. Maybe I shouldn't say heavily guided, but guided practices, because when I'm in a space where I'm not focusing well, or just my brain's all over the place, you know, there's just too many things happening at once, having practices where there is something outside of myself telling me, here's what we're doing, here's the time, not the place, the day usually, here's the day to do it at some point during the day and you're good, you know? That was really helpful for me. So I really pared down to, I should have brought it over, my tarot journal, which I have a hard copy of this year, which has been really great as well. This is my Owl and Bones tarot journal, and so this is what really keeps me pulling tarot every day. Now that's not like any certain requirement. I feel like when I say that, it sounds like it's some weird requirement I've made up. I want to pull tarot every day because it's very helpful for me. It's a very good, and this is specifically my morning pull, and that is a very grounding and centering thing that I do for myself to begin my day, because it's routine, one, and two, if I didn't, I would just immediately start diving into the many projects that I have going on, and that leads to a loud brain, you know? Anyway, so in this journal, we have a spot for each day, so that's what I'm kind of meaning by guided, but for example, Monday is a new moon, so you turn to the next page and you've got a spread right in the book. And so this is out, it's in my face, it is accessible, very accessible where I keep it. And so something like this is so helpful when I'm having those moments or days or weeks, as it happened, where I cannot sit and focus. Because the thing that doesn't work for me in those moments is trying to do anything that is really heavily self-guided, very free form, really just all up to me. And I think that's because when I'm having trouble focusing and sitting still, even if I came over here to like this desk right now and I pulled 3 cards, I would probably stare at them and then my brain would instantly be somewhere else. And even if I went through a guidebook or something, it's not gonna stick and it's not really gonna do something for me. But if it's guided, again, even if it's just giving me a spot for the day to fill out, that's seeing that book there and seeing those guidelines just feels like it tells my brain, like, okay, we're doing this. We are sitting down and we're doing this, and when it's done, it's done. And then we can move on with our day. You know? I don't know if this is making any sense. But I just really kind of wanted to talk about it because I think I just found it to be really interesting. And so right now, I am still a bit in a place where I'm not finding it as hard to sit still, but just being really wary of the practices that I do bring back, because I think there was a bit of a combination, again, of one, again, not having the things I needed, but two, being a little bit too gung-ho. And I think probably burning myself out with all of those practices. And what I'm learning right now is it can wait. That's a really hard idea for me to grasp, because everything to me feels very urgent, and like if I don't do this right now, I might forget about it, which an unfortunate truth is that I might. And so that adds an interesting layer as well. But what I really have been working on is patience, and again, the idea that it can wait, it will still be there. And so for right now, I have put down quite a few of the things I was wanting to do this year, which I think I listed off before. Did I? Like I was doing a bit of a Marseille study. Like I got the book and I have a Marseille deck. Like, and I really do enjoy it. I really think it's super cool. But is that something that feels really core to my practice right now? No. So that's a good example of something I can put that down for now. It can wait. It will still be there. Something else. Oh, like the Arthurian Tarot HoloQuest. Technically that starts March 21st, but there are activities you could do to kind of lead up to it, to get ready for it, and I wanted to get to know the deck, but is that core to what I feel like I need right now? No, so I can put that down for now. it can wait. We can start on March 21st, and then we'll see how that goes. So I'm not exactly sure the point of making this video here, but I think it's just to say that I really felt inspired by that video of just kind of saying it's okay. It's okay when certain practices don't work out, because that's something I need to tell myself quite a lot. Especially with the factor of a lot of the times things not working out being due to the fact that I have ADHD and I can't keep track of so many things even if I want to, and even if, I mean, especially with tarot and all this kind of thing, it's entirely self-created. You know, all the things I take on is entirely self-created. And so, yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to chat about it, and hopefully maybe that is something someone else will find helpful to hear, of, you know, that you don't have to shame yourself. And I think something I am really coming to terms with and really giving myself a new sense of joy about is, again, I've got my tarot journal, which is very core, very important to me to do. I'm starting to bring in like maybe 1 or 2 more practices that are very like single card draw, very manageable to do on a daily basis, or every other day, again, however it works. But beyond that, I think what I am starting to define for myself is that a big part of my tarot practice is trying new things and changing things up and experimenting, seeing what's fun and what strikes my interest at the moment. And it's okay if it's a little bit all over the place, you know? So those have been my thoughts of the past hour. Given to you. I hope this video wasn't too rambly. I'm gonna stop it here because I could just keep talking forever and ever. But all this to say, again, if you are going through something similar, to just know I am learning alongside you, that there's no need to feel any shame or just even disappointment over a practice not working out. I think the beauty in all of this is that there are so many new things to try, and so many things that will maybe stick for a long time or a little bit of time, and as long as you're getting something out of it, even if it's just a moment of joy, not even like some sort of like deep spiritual realization, even if it's just a moment of joy, that it was worthwhile, and it's okay if it doesn't stick. So, I hope you're all having a great weekend so far, and I will see you again very soon.